Hello everyone. Just checking everything. Yep, got audio stuff. Excellent. Right. Who do you have here today so far? Paul, Sven, Dave. How's it going? I'm running a little bit late, so I had to grab myself a coffee. I must have forgot to do it. Well, Brian. Cool. So, let's see. So what are we going to work on today? Well, yeah, I've got something on the bench already. I've got something pre-planned. Are you in? And we shall look at that. And it's a little job. It's something we've already worked on before, but I just want to finish it off. It's not quite finished. Well, almost still got still got to do calibration on it. So that's what needs doing yet. So as well, but I'm not going to do that during the stream. I was going to do something else, a bit more of the final repair work, and I'll do the calibration another time off camera and just do it myself. I don't think it's going to be that exciting trying to calibrate it. Yeah, so there's not much to do really for that. So that's one little job. We might be able to do 2 or 3 things though, maybe. We'll see. So that's promising. Our stats on YouTube are going weird. I'm jumping up and down. It's a bit strange. Weird. Very strange. Okay. Yeah, it sounds weird going with this. It's actually showing me my stream as being 1 hour long. I paused it. It says my stream's 1 hour long. I don't know. It's can see into the future apparently. Was there some problem with this? I'm going to reload this page. I don't trust it. Give me a second, people. It shouldn't affect the stream, but I'm just wondering what's going on here. It's a bit weird. It just doesn't look right. I don't know. Weird. Anyway. Okay. So I've had a bit more sleep this time compared to last time, so that's something. So, I suppose I should do a poll about other things we could work on. Here comes that moment where I have to think of what I've got here to do. Let's see, poll. Start a poll. The model numbers these things now. What's the other thing? What's the other thing I can work on today? I could work on this. What the hell was that thing I've forgotten? What the hell is this? What's it called? Yeah, I'll probably can't type that in. Yeah, FX at least. Okay, shove those in there. Chat's very quiet. The last comment I've got on here is from Ian. Has anybody else seen anything since then? Is there a weird thing with going on YouTube? Because it isn't normally like this. It's normally busier than this. It's a bit weird. I'm not sure it's working right. Last chat thing I'm seeing here is Ian saying hi. I'm just suspicious it's not working properly. Willem, yeah, I've got your one, so maybe it is. He wants us quiet. Okay. Hey, Kent. Right. Have to see how this poll goes. Hey, Greg. Right. Yeah, so we've got a few things we can work on. So I've got this thing already on the bench, which isn't one of these things in the pile. We're going to be doing that regardless, because it shouldn't take too long. And famous last words, I'm sure. So we'll work on that first. Just a little job, really. And then we'll do one of these other things. See how it goes. Looking for a buck converting take 4 or 5 amps. Well, there are modules that can do that. I mean, I've got a 5 amp or 10 amp module up there in my parts stuff. You can get them. Pre-made modules are quite chunky. They need to be for that sort of current. And you've got a lot of variable inputs and variable output. So the input can go up to like 30 volts or 40 volts, something like that. And the output is variable, so you can set it to what you want. It's unusual for YouTube to get it wrong. Well, that happens. Yeah. I think I've got 5 amps. The ones I've got might be 5 amp ones. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've got some high current ones here. Although, to be fair, I haven't actually tested them at high currents. I should. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it can take a lot of scrolling on AliExpress to try and find it, because you've got loads and loads of the same one. And eventually, if you keep going, eventually you'll get some different stuff. It'll start turning up. So sometimes you have to go through it a lot. Oh look, we've got power outage. It's actually gone off. Here we go. Oh, no, it's back. No, it's gone. This could cut the stream short. I've got a few UPS in here, which is why I'm still on there. Oh dear, that's not good, is it? Come on, come back on. This could be a bit of a hindrance. Power's off. Lovely timing indeed. How's my UPS going? It isn't particularly happy, but it's okay. You can see the things running for UPS. Things behind me. That's on UPS. All my computer stuff's UPS. My bench is UPS. All my test gear is on UPS. That's why I've got this beeping going on. I'm sure that's brilliant. You ain't coming back on anytime soon. There we go, beeping stopped. It has been raining, it's not raining now. It's been raining a little bit yesterday. So if I just suddenly disappear, it's because my UPS has gone flat, alright? The UPS sponsor, yeah. Oh. I've got quite a lot of battery capacity. So the one which is running test gear is only a small one, standard UPS, runs off a single 7.2 amp hour SLA, right? And that's there purely as a protection system to buffer the test gear against surges and stuff like that, okay? That's just there to protect that gear. As far as keeping the gear running, not too worried about that part. And the one I've got under my desk here, which is the big one, that runs just all the computer stuff and this gear behind me as well. And that's got two 12-volt batteries in series. Each one's 130 amp hours. So 130 amp hours of 24 volts is what's running on the UPS down here. So this should actually keep me going for a few hours. But my soldering iron and my other equipment there isn't through a UPS. I don't want it on the UPS. I'd rather just not do that work if I've got a power cut. So yeah, there's no soldering happening right now. Has it tripped the MCB? No, I doubt it. It almost never trips. It's really rare. The only time the breaker trips is when I've done something silly over here, like tried to solder on a neutral which is plugged in. That trips it, strangely. Hey Christian, yeah. Well, I mean, this batteries here, these batteries I've got running on this UPS. The standard ones that are in it are normally 12 amp hours. SLAs, but they just don't last. I mean, if on this thing, you have to replace them every year, and it gets expensive. And so the batteries I've got running on this thing right now are ones which are out of my motorhome. These ones which are not good enough for the motorhome anymore. So they're not new, but they're already like 5 years old, something like that. And but they've still got life in them. They just can't take the very heavy loading that gets put on them on the motorhome. But I've still got decent capacity, so they're on this UPS, and yes, they can run for quite a while. And the batteries are sort of that long, that wide, that high. Each one of them, two of them, instead of that. And they last for years. So yeah. I've actually done a video on this conversion, but this with some different batteries, some previous ones. I did that video about 4 or 5 years ago, showing I did it. Wasn't much to it, it's really just extending the wires inside the UPS with some heavy cables out to the UPS so I can hook up to some big batteries sitting next to it. You know, it wasn't really much. Cold solder joints, yes, well, indeed. Anyway, hopefully the power comes back on again soon. It doesn't usually stay off for very long here. We're actually quite good. When the power does go off, it's usually only for like 5-10 minutes. They get quite a fast response here for getting things fixed. So hopefully we don't have to stop. Yes, but it's a bit of a hindrance trying to work on things. UPS is still happy. It's okay. Pay the power bill. Oh, that could be what's wrong. No, my power bill, I actually pay it well in advance. Like, there's a company called Power Shop, which is one I use here, and they have things where you can pre-purchase, to get better deals, you get a bigger discount. So if you purchase as far ahead as I'll let you, which is I think it's about, might be 6 months. I think it's 6 months ahead. You can get like 10% off the rates. So each month they, it steps along in another month, and I pre-purchase for that month, right? So I'm getting 10% off basically all the time, approximately half of that power. So I'm really getting about 5% off overall every month by buying in advance. So I'm like 6 months ahead on the power bill, and the next 3 months are fully paid. That's the kind of thing. So I stay ahead of it like that. It ends up being a lot cheaper. It saves me about $500 a year. Very unusually hot weather in north of England. My wife is currently in the Midlands, somewhere up by oh god, where is she? Can't think of it now, but she's in the Midlands somewhere. Yes. My UPS will last for a while. I haven't actually had a long outage on this computer. I had long outages on the other computer, so this is first outage, proper outage this computer's had whilst using it. So I'm not sure. It might be. It should actually be longer time because this computer uses much less power. So probably, I'd expect at least 4 hours. That's not worried about turning it off. I could use my phone, yeah, but there's no point. Someone else would have done it. That's fine. It's unlikely to just be me. I've got a USB soldering iron. I do actually have one. I've got the TS100s. I've got sitting in the drawer there. So if I really needed to get, do some soldering desperately, I could plug it into the UPS and solder off that. Yeah. $3,500 a year. Yeah, that's pretty up there, isn't it? Bloody hell. What's it? It's just over twice. I think the exchange rate's just over twice. So it's probably about $8,000 a year equivalent to me. Yeah, that's significantly more than I'm paying. I'm probably about $3,000 a year. Dollars, not pounds, so, less than half what you're paying. It's an incredible difference. 34.6 degrees today. Wow. Ooh. That's getting up there. Hope you've got air conditioning. East Power Engineering. How's it going? 4 Celsius there. So where are you? You must be the US, is it? Must be the US for that time. That'd be right. Anyway, yes. So, UPS power for the win. It just hinders doing the stream stuff. Hopefully it'll be back on soon. It usually doesn't last that long. Probably someone hit a power pole. For the way it's surging, like that, it's just, yeah. Something short of that, maybe a tree's come down somewhere. Because I've had a lot of rain, so the ground's going to be really soft. So it could be just a tree's falling over. Who knows? Was that working? Oh, wow. Yeah, it wouldn't be pleasant to work in. Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to do that. I struggle with hot temperatures, which makes total sense that I came to a hotter country than where I came from. I mean, it's winter here right now, and I will tell you what the temperature is, but my unit is not currently on. This might not be on the UPS. No, it is. It's 10 degrees outside right now. It's 10 degrees outside right now. So it's winter here. So, we get pretty mild winters. The other day it did get down to about 4 one morning. So, yeah, we don't tend to get too cold here. It might, in winter, we might get, where I am specifically, might get 3 or 4 particularly cold days, particularly cold mornings with maybe a bit of ice. Then at the very lowest point of winter, and then it's usually. So yeah. So you're in Norway, southeast part of Norway, right? In Kenya. No, okay. 4 degrees in Kenya. 15 degrees. That's not too bad, Ian. That's pretty comfortable. Well, bench power supply. Depends what you're doing. If you want high currents and not worried about noise, then switch mode, big switch mode. But if you're worried about noise and not so much about high currents, then linear, because linear's much cleaner. Sometimes a mixture of both. Sometimes you have both types, so you can use the one you need. But, can I show the UPS waveform on a scope? I could. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to go actually, because that's feeding from 2 different UPS, right? I've got UPS here which does all this gear, and one UPS does that gear. Mind you, if I'm using differential probe, it shouldn't matter. But think about ground loops. You know, what happens if you stick the neutral from that UPS to the neutral of that UPS? Is that going to create some weird, horrible thing? I don't know. Got UPS not coming on at all. No, right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the UPS is basically a combined inverter and charger unit in a way. So think about that topology. So it's dropping down the high voltage down to a low voltage, which is then stepped back up again, usually. So that's how they'll tend to do it. So it'll go down through the transformer, through the switching circuitry, and back to the transformer again. So depending on which way your fault is and that sort of stuff. So. And it reloads the switch and disconnect the mains. Depends on what they're doing, how they're designed. You've got line interactive ones as well, which could be a bit different. It's different types, but yeah, I'm not an expert on UPSs. I just vaguely understand them, but not much. Part of the inverter's burned out, possibly. I mean, if it shows life and charges the batteries, you know the AC input and that control circuitry and charge circuitry is working. It doesn't go back the other way. It could be a bad relay. They often have fuses built onto the circuit boards. Maybe it's a blown fuse. Could be a bad switching transistor, because it will pulse the DC through the transformer to create AC. So, yeah, I don't know. Inverters aren't something I'm particularly good on. Yeah. It could even be if batteries are just not up to it and it's sensing a low voltage and it's just not enabling itself because of that. It's possible too. It could be something simple as that. Anyway. I would have thought the power would be back on again by now. Must be a mysterious one. Probably have had some lines taken out by a tree. Will this work? That light will not work. I've got other lights I can use though. It's alright. No soldering on unless I plug in the TS100. Right, okay. Well, let's go and look at the thing I was going to work on. I'll turn some lights on first so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure how well this is going to last actually. No, maybe I won't be able to because the lighting is off the UPS, which is small. It's a small UPS. And it may not like trying to run out of power. Let's do minimal lighting. Let's do minimal lighting. Let's see. Minimal lighting, so we've at least got something. The Keithley 150B. Right, we worked on that before. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I decided to use a different mic setup, so instead of using the mic over here, which I normally use, which I watched that last live stream thinking that audio sounds pretty bad, so I'm not going to use that one now. It just doesn't sound right. So I'm going to keep on the Blue Yeti, which sounded better to me on the live stream when I played that one back, and just hope that it's loud enough from this distance. So I also got it pointing more towards me over here when I wouldn't normally do that. So what this thing needed was a lot of untangling doing on the back here. Oh, well. Yes, lighting's not going to be doing us any favours. I think I also want to record video on this. I did want to record video about doing this. I can't really do it with this lighting. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Might have to skip the recording video. So, what I was trying to string a sentence together about. Now, we've worked on this before, we got it working. We replaced the capacitors and that fixed it.
It's always a capacitor.
And then we actually did some testing on it. It seemed to work fine. Apart from that, that was all working good. Now, one thing I was having trouble with was the noise levels when trying to measure relay level signals in the millivolt ranges and lower. So, which is not unsurprising. And the reason for that is because it wasn't running off batteries. So up here are some connections, which hopefully you can see in there. Chat. A for both. Andy. Put your battery in a week ago. Oh, well, about that then. Well, don't assume the battery's good. Have you actually measured it? You never know. I would like to get some more lighting going here. Let me see what I can do about that. Hold on. Just trying to untangle things. Because I've got this light I usually use when I'm doing recording, which is plugged into a supply which isn't UPS backing up. So let's find under this plug and plug it into the UPS one. Now there's a wire hanging across which I'm now going to trip over if I go back to the computer. There we go, UPS lighting. You've got something else. There's an accident waiting to happen, but we've got lighting. Oh! No, maybe we won't. That UPS is complaining. I might be going. The UPS switch I'm running off is complaining about low power now. I guess these batteries aren't lasting as well as I thought they would. Well, we'll get along as I can and we'll see what happens. If it dies, it dies. I have to leave that light off. Okay. I'll turn this other monitor off. Anyway, what I was going to say, you can hear me past the beeping, is right here is a connection, which is for the battery. Now, I'll get a torch. Use a torch. Right there. And I've got some batteries here. We hope this power comes back on again soon. So this is a 6 volt, 2100 milliamp hours nickel metal hydride battery. So I bought some of these. I've got some 6 volts and some 9 volt batteries. This particular one's just 6 volts. So it'd actually be quite nice to get this thing with one of these batteries installed. And it's actually got a bit here which I think maybe the battery used to be attached to. So I think I could probably just stick this in here, wire it up to those terminals, and that'll give us a battery pack supply for when you're doing low level measurements. That's what I want to do, but I think the stream's not going to last long enough. Hey, Friday House. Yeah, I've got an issue with the stream right now with the... Basically, I've got no power. The power's gone out and it hasn't come back on yet. Tuna and cucumber. Oh, Dave. Dave, I could use tuna and cucumber. That'd be nice. Anyway, yes, I think I might have to abandon the stream until the power comes back on again, which is kind of annoying. Because this isn't going to last much longer. Previously, the batteries had this thing before that it would last about 4 hours, but it looks like these batteries aren't as healthy as I thought they were, so not lasting that long. Mind you, it's running a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of stuff hanging off this thing, so it's dragging it down quite badly, I think. There's always my phone. Well, maybe, but I still need to be able to see what I'm doing, and you guys need to see what I'm doing by having lighting on. Turn off the life support. Yeah, well, it's kind of frustrating. It's not coming. What's that been now? 15 minutes? They're usually quicker than that, so it must be a serious fault. It's usually only down literally 5-10 minutes normally if it goes off. Yeah. Well, at least the heart rate's reasonable. Oh dear. I don't know, it's frustrating. So the poll says HP3406A sampling voltmeter. So that's what this current poll says for winning, right? So we'll see. I don't think I'm going to be continuing to stream much longer somehow. Unfortunately. That's frustrating. Funny thing was, Rob, Taupeca Technologies, Siglent dealer, he was going to come down today. Originally he had an idea of coming down today and being part of the live stream. So in a way it's lucky he didn't, because it would have been a problem. He actually came down yesterday instead and dropped something off for me to do a review on. So that's... keep going to the death, do you reckon? Yeah, well, no, right. You have to put up the bad lighting. Yeah, I'll get some more natural lighting, alright? Maybe a little bit more. We don't get much. Yeah, AFK, yeah. So, the beeping's irritating, isn't it? So so Rob came down yesterday and dropped off a piece of gear for me to do a review on. A interesting oscilloscope, let's say that. And so I'll be doing a video on that at some point. Once I have power, I suppose. It's quite a interesting thing. So I'll be doing that. Yeah, hang around for a few hours, we had a chat, talk about all sorts of stuff. But yeah, he was hoping to come down. Well, I was thinking about coming down today for the live stream and actually be part of the live stream. That almost happened, but my room's a bit crowded right now, so I decided not to do that, and maybe leave that for another time. So one time in the future, he'll come down and be part of the live stream. Just pop in for a bit and be part of that and have a chat. But maybe you could ask him about Siglent stuff. He knows a lot more about the Siglent stuff than I do. He's the dealer. Anyway, right. I'm really hoping this power comes back on again so we can carry on. It's down to about 10% power. Considering this is running 2 screens speaker system, computer, all the internet connection stuff, the routers, the networks, external drives. Actually, I should shut that drive down before it kills it, and the same for the other one. Actually, I should absolutely do that. I should shut down my NAS whilst I'm thinking about it. Give me a second. Rather than having losing power. I think that's his IP address. I'm trying to remember what it is. Or just push a button on the front panel. I could do that too. I might just do that. Give me a second. Right. I'll shut the NAS down. That'll help a little bit. NAS uses a lot of power. Running 4 drives maybe. Well, 3 drives in that one. Oh right, yeah, turn the power on off. What tends to happen, I think, is when they're doing the lines, they'll turn multiple breakers, right? So I'll turn the breaker on again. If it trips again, because they've got a certain time they'll tripping, and they'll also auto reset after a certain time as well. And I only try a certain number of times. Sometimes here it will come on and off about 3 times, and then it will go off. There's obviously an overload in the line. But yeah. Hopefully the UPS is down now. Let's check it. Okay. UPS is down. LED behind me, last time we used much power, is it? This thing wants nothing. Blowing everything with the compressor and AC. Oh, fridge, yeah. Yeah, not good. Don't want that happening. I think the most annoying thing right now is the beeping. Anyway, it's just frustrating. I don't know. I was going to do these things on the stream and record some video today. Hopefully it comes back on. Apollo 13 mode, yeah. Going to backup circuits. Yeah, it's a shame about those batteries not being big enough though. I was hoping they would last better than that. The last ones did. He's in worse state than I thought. So the previous batteries would last 4 hours, easy. I wouldn't have to do anything. I could just keep using the computer. It'll just keep going. It lasts for ages. But obviously these ones aren't doing so well as the previous ones were. Causes grinding noises. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, who do you think you have to put a UPS on a fridge? But yeah, it sounds like it probably would be a wise thing to do. But this is why I've got a UPS around my test gear and everything as well, you know, so it's all protected that way. Um, 650 VA inverter's pretty small. Depends what you're running. Like the one I've got over there on my test gear bench, that's only a 650 in itself. And that can't actually run all the gear. It can run some of it, but it's there just to protect it really. But yeah, the one I've got down here is a 1500 VA. Yeah. I mean, 40 amp hours is running for a little while. I mean, it depends on what you're running though. I mean, it's run quite well. I mean, the one I've got over there, say 650 VA, that's got a 7.2 amp hour battery in it. It runs for maybe 10 minutes if it's got any load on it. Maybe. Don't have a lot of time on them. So yeah, you get a bit more than that. Might get half an hour of it, but then you might have issues with the actual thing overloading and actually overheating. The UPS might get too hot. Depends what you're doing. Plug the camper van in. I could do, you know, run a really long extension lead out. Yeah, I mean, if I, yeah, it'd be. I mean, in theory, I could run everything I need to do in this room off the bus. I could do it. That's got a 1800 watt inverter in there, and that can run for ages. That's got 6 batteries in that one. 630 amp hour batteries. So yeah, that could run the stuff in here quite well. But yeah, I've always considered that as a backup plan, you know, run an extension lead out. Just plug it into the bus. It still shows about 10%, so anyway. Ah dear. Who would have thought the stream would be turned into a stream about a power cut? Yeah, actually, yeah. So that's what I need is a sponsorship by one of those big battery manufacturers, one of those inverter companies. That's what I need is a sponsorship. Is it Eco Power or one of those other ones? That's what I need is a sponsorship. I actually did consider approaching one of those companies. I just thought, what am I actually going to use it for, really? Well, this, I suppose. Hey, Doro. Yeah, power outage. I'm running for UPS right now. Kind of inconvenient. When you let your car unplug the... Yeah, let's buy and let your car. This is the reserve battery pack. Oh dear. It beeps like that when the power's almost run out of the UPS. It's sitting about 10%. It's not a great display for that. It only does that when it's warning you that it's just about to die. UPS I'm running on this gear is 1500 VA, but I've got 2 12-volt batteries in series, which are each 130 amp hours. So basically, I've got 24 volts at 130 amp hours. But based on the fact that it's died so quickly already, I think the capacity is way down. It's probably less than half that. You're saying my. That's annoying. Yeah. Big battery in my house. Yeah, I should definitely get a sponsorship from a battery company and one of these backup inverter companies, you know. Definitely should get one. I mean, I've always liked the idea of getting solar power and actually having solar panels on the roof and using that, and I always liked the idea of doing that. I mean, this is a good country for solar because it gets so much sun. So yeah, it's just something I've not done here. I've always liked the idea of doing it though. Yeah, thermal fuses and stuff. Yeah. Indeed, I definitely need to get one of these sponsorships from these battery companies, and there's Eco Power or something like that. What's the other one? It's Eco Power and who's the other company I've seen recently? Julian did a video on one. Was it yesterday? The day before? He did one showing something. We're going to shut down if it's running too hot, yeah. Which is fine, you want to protect itself. Blew it. Yeah, so we can't use it as a UPS and a power outage. Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't. We get a fair number of power outages here, so it's it gets a bit of a workout. But usually it's just like some surges, and it will flick on and off a few times, then come back. We get loads of those. We'll get, you know, most have been getting a bit better recently, but it could be a few a week. It's not unusual to get a few a week. On a really bad day, it could be a few a day.